Hello, grade 12s. How are you? Mr. Newlove is here again. Today we are going to continue on our differentiation by notation or by using the rules. Don't forget to subscribe. Yeah. Okay. The other time we managed to do this one. So if you've not watched the previous video on series 5, I think it's good you watch that one before you watch this one. Okay, so here we are going to differentiate this one. They want us to differentiate f of x is equals to 1 over x. Another way of writing that for us to easily differentiate it by writing it as x exponent negative 1. Remember, if I have 1 over x, this is x to the power 1. If the denominator becomes a numerator, it becomes negative 1. So if here is 1 over x to the power 2, is going to be x to the power negative 2. Okay. If there is 2 here, 2 over x is going to be 2x to the power negative 1. Okay. Now, let's see how we are going to differentiate. To differentiate this using the rule, this minus 1 will multiply the number here. The number here is 1. So minus 1 times 1 will give you minus 1. Then minus 1 minus 1 will give you minus 2. Okay. Then let's move on. Let's see how we are going to differentiate this one also. X over 3. Another way of writing x over 3 is the same as 1 over 3x. So how are you going to differentiate this? The exponent here is 1. So 1 times 1 over 3 is going to give you 1 over 3. Then 1 minus 1 is what? 0. So x exponent 0 is what? 1. So it's like 1 over 3 times 1, which will give you 1 over 3. Okay. Now, let's see how we are going to differentiate this one using the rule 8x squared minus x over x. You can break it to be 8x squared over this x minus x over this x. So 8x squared over x will give us 8x minus x over x will give us 1. Now if I differentiate this one, it's going to give me 8. Remember the rule. 1 times 8 is what? 8. 1 minus 1 is what? 0. So x exponent 0 is what? 1. So it's the same as 8 times 1, which will give you 8. Okay. Then the next one, x squared minus 9 over x minus 3. This one is difference of 2 squares grade 10. So we can write this one as x minus 3, x plus 3 over x minus 3. Then this and this is going to cancel. So I'm going to get x plus 3. Now x plus 3, we can differentiate this one. This exponent 1. So 1 times 1 will give you 1. 1 minus 1 will give you 0. So x exponent 0 is 1. So 1 times 1 will give you 1. Okay. Let's look at another one. We want to differentiate this also using the rules. Now if I have square root of x is the same as x exponent 1 over 2. So to differentiate this, the exponent is going to multiply 1. So half times 1 is going to give me half. Then the exponent, you are going to have half minus 1 will give you minus half. Okay. Then the next one, we have this 4 dot means times. So this is the same as 4 times cube root of x. So we can rewrite it as 4 times x exponent 1 over 3. Cube root is the same as 1 over 3. Remember, square root, there is 2 here, so we say 1 over 2. So if it is fourth root, it's going to be x exponent 1 over 4. Okay. Now we are going to differentiate this one. What is it going to be? 1 over 3 times 4 is going to give you 4 over 3. Then x, we are going to have 1 over 3 minus 1. 1 over 3 minus 1, what is it going to give you? It's going to give you minus 2 over 3. You can use your calculator to check. Let's do it using our calculator. Okay. Where is my calculator? You are here. So let's do that one using our calculator. Here. Okay, my calculator is out now. So we are going to do this one. Now it is 1 over 3 minus 1 is going to give us minus 2 over 3. So this one, you don't just waste your time. You use your calculator to get it right. Né? So we have minus 2 over 3. Okay, so here we are going to look at the next one. We want to find the gradient at a point. We want to find the gradient at a point. So find the gradient of f of x at x is equals to 6. To find the gradient at a point, differentiate. Simple. That's the reason why we learn how to differentiate. So to find the gradient of at a point, what you need to do is what? Differentiate. So the first derivative assists us to find the gradient. So we want to find the gradient at the point 6. So it's 2 times 5, which is 10. 2 minus 1 is what? 1. So it will give you x. Then 2x. 1 times 2 is what? 2. 1 minus 1 is 0. So x to the power 0 is what? 1. So 2 times 1 is what? 2. So the rule says if you have 2x, if you differentiate, is what? 2. This is an expression for the gradient at a point along the curve. So what point are we looking for at x? Okay. So the gradient at a point at x, you substitute x into this one. So when x is 6, we have 10, then we have 6 plus 2, which will give you 62. Okay. This type of question comes in paper 1. Okay, let's find the gradient. Let's find the point along the curve of this one, at which the gradient is 4. Now this time they want us to find a point when the gradient is given. So here, to find the gradient at a point, we differentiate. So what are we going to do? We differentiate this one again. So we have 2 times negative 3, which will give us negative 6. 2 minus 1 is what? 1. So you have minus 6x. Then to find the point at which the gradient is 4, we substitute into f of x and solve for x. So remember, this is the gradient. We told you to find the gradient at a point, you differentiate. So this is the gradient, and they have given us the gradient to be what? 4. So this gradient is equals to 4 is equals to minus 6x. So if I divide here by 6, this side by 6, I'm going to get minus 2 over 3. What you need to know is The first derivative is the gradient. Is that okay? So if you are told to find a gradient and they've given you a function, you can find the first derivative. If they give you a point, you substitute into it. It will give you a value, which is the gradient. Okay. Now, determine the equation of the tangent to f of x is equal to 2x squared at x is equal to minus 1. Tangents are straight lines that touch a curve at a point only. So tangents should always be written in this form.